Hi guys, if you're new here, my name is Jenna. I film a lot of lifestyle, productivity, bullet journal videos and vlogs, so if you want to hit subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. For today's video, we're actually going to be doing a holiday, simple, natural makeup look, all focused on your dewy looking skin and giving yourself a fun, simple eye look with a little bit of glitter. So if you want to see how I got this makeup holiday look, then let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, so realistically, I always do my base first just because I know you should always do your eyes first. I just always forget and it feels most natural to me to do my base first. But today we're actually going to do our eyes first because we're going to try to use a little bit of glitter. So this is a simple holiday makeup look, but you can just add a little more with a little bit of glitter. What I really like doing to prime my eyes is just using a little bit of concealer. This is the Too Faced Multi-Sculpt Born This Way concealer, and I really like this, and I usually just pat it in my eyes. Make sure to get a little bit below. We'll go back in with concealer under our eyes when we do our base, but this is really just to act as an eyeshadow primer so that our eyeshadows can stick on a little bit better. And then we're gonna set that concealer with a little bit of powder. Now that we have our eyeshadow base done, for today's look, we're gonna mainly use Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. This is like probably the first palette that a lot of people have ever gotten in their collection, and always wanted it, but I actually just got it for the first time. We're gonna use the Chocolate Bar palette for our natural makeup look, and then we're gonna amp it up with some glitter afterwards. So we're gonna start off with this Salted Caramel. Like warm, perfect transition color to just blend in all the rest of your eyeshadows with. Next we're gonna go into Cherry Cordial. Into our outer corner we're gonna put in Cherry Cordial to kind of add more definition. I always like to do the outer thirds and then wing it up a little bit, just ever so slightly. Back in with this color after we put in our lid shades and everything else, because the outer corner color can kind of get lost sometimes, so we'll touch it up later, but this is just our base for it. Okay, next we're going to go in with Marzipan, and we're just going to take a little bit of that on our ring finger and just tap it on into the first 2/3 of our lid. For shimmer shades, I always like using my ring finger to apply it because you kind of get the best color payout that way. So now that we have the first base of our eyes done, before we go in with our glitter, let's go ahead and do our brows really quickly. This is the Benefit Precisely My Brow, and you just mimic hair-like strokes to thicken up your eyebrows. Brows are always hard. They never look as good as you want them to, what feels like every single time you do your brows, but I think that will do. Okay, now let's do the other side. Make sure to always blend in your eyebrows with a spoolie. I just use the one that's on the back of the Precisely My Brow pencil, especially in the beginning parts of the brow. I try to feather it out as much as I can, but like I said, you can only do so good with your brows. Okay, that looks much better already with our brows done. So now that we have our brows done, we can kind of see what we want to add to our eyes, and I'm going to add more of that Cherry Cordial color. So for the start of this makeup look, we're going to be using a glitter, and this is from NYX. It's their metallic glitter in this little pot, and you can pick this up at Target. That's where I got mine, but just any drugstore you can pick this up. It's a loose glitter, so what we have to do is use glitter glue, and this is the same one from NYX. What we're going to do is put a little bit of our glitter glue on our ring finger. We're gonna rub our glitter glue into both ring fingers and just tap it on top of where we put that marzipan shimmer color. We're gonna open our glitter, and literally all I do is just tap my finger in the pot, tap it on top of our lid, right on top of where we put that glitter glue. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see the glitter, but it's very subtle, and that was what I was going for. This is a more natural and simple holiday look, but it's very easy to amp it up with just the smallest bit of glitter, and it adds no hassle. Excess that's not on our lid. I really like this color. The color that I have is the MGLI 05, and I really like this because it's glitter, but it's actually really subtle and very natural looking, so I really like this. It just looks like a sparkly shimmer all over your lid. Okay, so now we're gonna add some eyeliner. Just did a simple black winged eyeliner. Now the other side. And now that our eyeshadow and our eyeliner is done, we can go ahead and put on our mascara. I'm using the L'Oreal Lash Paradise Waterproof, and it's the best for your lashes. So our mascara is done, and we're actually not going to put on fake lashes. I personally just like having a natural lash as often as I can, and it's honestly because I'm very bad at putting on fake lashes, and I'm sure a lot of you are too, so we're just going to avoid that as a whole for this. But as long as you have your winged eyeliner and your glitter, you kind of don't really need the fake lashes, or at least you can settle without it. But we're going to finish off our makeup with doing our base, which really isn't what I do very often, but since we use glitter, I just wanted to make sure that there was no fallout and like no glitter under my eyes, because that's the worst. So now we're going to prime our skin for our foundation, and I'm using the Rare Beauty Illuminating Base to have that glowy skin look. In terms of foundation, I've always been a ride or die for the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless foundation, but very recently, this year actually, I switched over to the Bite Beauty Changemaker Supercharged Foundation, and I think this stuff is so good. I personally like putting on foundation first with my fingers because I think it kind of melts in your skin first, and then you can pat it in with a brush or a sponge afterwards. But I love this foundation because it is so natural, especially blending it in with your fingers. You're kind of applying it almost like it's lotion, and I think you get the most natural finish that way. Sometimes your hands and your fingers are your best tools, and it definitely rings true here. So we're just gonna pat in our foundation with our brush to make sure that everything's all blended in and any excess product is removed from our skin to get as natural of a look as possible. But I love the finish of this foundation. It just looks like your skin. And I also would say that this foundation is a true medium coverage. I have a pimple right here and you can still see it, but for the most part my skin looks very glowy and very, very natural, so I can appreciate that always. For concealer, we're going to go back in with that Too Faced concealer that we used on our eyes and put that underneath our eyes, and I just like doing 2 little dabs, one right below, one on my forehead, one on my chin, and one right in the middle of my nose. And we're going to blend all of that in with a brush. After I've blended in my concealer under my eyes with the brush, I always like to pat it in to lock it in place with my fingers. So that's a really good way to lock in your concealer, especially underneath your eyes where you can have more fine lines, and I definitely have those. Okay, so now that base is done, gonna make sure we get our smile lines. I really just like to go back and forth between patting everything in with my foundation brush and patting everything in with my fingers, because I just think that's the best way to really lock in your makeup, especially your base makeup. Before we go in with our powders, I'm gonna do 2 dots on the tops of my cheeks, and this is the Rare Beauty liquid luminizer, and I really like putting this on before I put in my powder to kind of get that natural glow from within look. So I'm just patting it in with my fingers. Try to pat and not swipe so that you're not moving any of your foundation and concealer that you just put on underneath. Since these are all cream products and we haven't put in our powders yet, everything could kind of still slip around. I'm gonna put a little bit of concealer on that pimple that I have. That's the best we can do with this, I think. Here is our finished skin before we put on any powders. It's very glowy but natural. If I'm doing a more glam look like this, I want to use a loose powder. I showed you guys before for my everyday makeup, I just like using the all-nighter completely as my setting powder. Since this is a more glam look, we're gonna use our Hourglass translucent setting powder, a loose powder. Take a powder brush and dip that in and just lock in our makeup. Again, you really want to pat everything in and not like completely swipe. At least that's my personal preference. I like patting everything in. And then we're going to take a smaller brush, the same one that we used to set our eyelids. We're going to use that to concentrate a little bit more of the setting powder underneath our eyes for that concealer, because we don't want fine lines. And then add a little bit more on our smile lines. And then add a slight bit more, whatever's left on my forehead, just right in the middle and with my T-zone, because that's where I get most oily throughout the day. Okay, so our base is done and everything's looking very nice and natural. For bronzer, I really love using Baked Luminous bronzer because I like to get that glowy, natural look from within. We're just gonna take our Too Faced Sweet Tea bronzer. You guys know I love this stuff. Just kind of mix in both of the shades, tap out the excess, and bronze our skin. And I basically like to go in that whole 3 positions, so the sides of your forehead, your cheeks, and then underneath your jawline to kind of chisel it out ever so slightly. We're not going to be doing any contouring because I personally don't like to contour. I just like to keep things as natural as possible. But with this brush, you kind of get a natural contour when you bronze, so that's good enough for me. For blush, we're going to use a very natural blush. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Blush in the shade Vintage Rouge. It smells like, literally smells like the beach. Just putting this on the apples of my cheeks at first and then bringing it up. I know maybe this might look a little crazy right now with all the blush, but I just like to take a stippling brush and blend all of that in. To finish off our face makeup, we're going to be adding some highlight. If you guys have been watching my videos and my vlogs, you know that I love a blinding highlight, and this is literally the best blinding highlight. This is definitely like a more peachy pearl tone, but that's what I love. And this is the Cookie Highlighter by Benefit, and it is literally so blinding. It's unbelievable. Like, oh my god, that's crazy. Add a little bit to the corner of my forehead. And then what I really love doing is taking my ring finger, tapping it into the highlight, and then adding it into my inner corner. That kind of completes the eyes for me. Okay, and one more time, we're going to go back in with our stippling brush and just blend everything in to make sure that all of our powders are all blended together and nothing looks too layered. For our very last step of this holiday makeup look is lips, and for me personally, I'm kind of not really into the liquid lip or like big lip liner and lipstick look lately. I really like wearing a natural lip lately, something that will still give me some color but will fade away naturally as the day goes by. And for me, I've really been loving Generation G Glossier lipstick, and this is amazing. I have the color Leo. It feels like lip balm and it's very, very comfortable to wear. It's very sheer, but it still gives you some slight color, and it'll eventually wear away as you eat your meals. So easy to apply. You basically apply it like lip balm, and I love this color Leo because it's a warm nude but almost has a slight brown tint, and you can't go wrong with something like that for the holidays. Here's the completed holiday 2020 makeup look. It's an overall very natural look, very focused on your glow from within skin, and very simple eyes with just a slight bit of festiveness with the glitter. So yeah, this is the completed look. That's it for today's video. If you liked this holiday festive look, then just go ahead and hit the like button and let me know that you want to see more videos like this. I can show you what my everyday makeup routine is because it's definitely a little different. I use slightly different products and do a whole different technique, but if you want to see how I do that, just go ahead and comment. And yeah, I guess that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me get ready. It's Vlogmas, so you'll see new videos from me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday leading up until Christmas. I have lots of video ideas for you in the new year, so I'm excited to get started with that. But that's it for today's video, and I'll see you in my next one. But until then, I miss you already.